No clue what I hope to find, but today we are at the comics. We're at a comics and toy show here in Illinois, and I'm hoping, I have an extremely low budget, I'm hoping $100 finds something. I'm sure that it will. I'm not here like grail hunting. I'm just going to do a couple rounds, check out what they have, and hopefully come back with something worth getting. That's today. You'd hate to buy the first thing you saw right when you walked in, but man, right off the bat, the very first table had Venom Marvel Legends, the one that I'm looking for, first appearance Spider-Man, Nightcrawler 97, like just figure after figure after figure. I hate to feel like I'm going to walk around this whole thing and then buy immediately from the first table, but I think there's a real chance of it. So if I am being perfectly honest, this one somewhat shocked me. First off, it's smaller than it has been. This convention, so I've been coming to this one for a couple of years now, and this time it was smaller than it normally was. I don't know, it looks like a couple of businesses have taken spots where there used to be open areas where they would kind of like rent them out for these conventions, and it almost looked like there were some new businesses there that made that impossible. But at the same time, they didn't seem to load the areas up like they normally do. So I didn't see as much opportunity to shop around. The first area I went to was way overpriced. The second table I walked up to had all the stuff I bought. All of it. Like literally every single thing that I bought came from walking up to that spot, nowhere else. Now, this booth was rough. I have two rules when I do a convention. One, you walk the entire convention before you buy. Sometimes that has screwed me. Sometimes that has saved me. Because sometimes when I walk around, I find something that costs a little less in one area than it does in another. And sometimes when I walk around, I find something that I should have bought and somebody beats me to it. It happens. It sucks, but it happens. On the second table I went to, I was like, I think this is where I'm buying from. I mean, he had a setup there that while it wasn't like, it didn't like blow your mind, it just so happened to be every single recent thing that I am looking for, and it sucked. I was like, oh man, it's all right there. Well, I kept my rules intact. I walked the entire convention one round through. Went to every single area, talked to a couple people, some of the vendors that I already knew personally, and some of the people that I just kind of had conversations with. I saw a couple of things I wanted, but a couple of things that, like, when you have $100 and you walk into one of these places, it's tough. It's tough because you start kind of walking in circles and you see things that you might want, but it's like $80 and you're like, well, I only have 100, or like something's really cheap, but you're like, yeah, maybe, but maybe I'd find something that like takes my whole 100 and be worth the whole trip. You consider it a lot more. And I did. So when I was roaming around, I saw a lot of things that I was interested in, but my mind kept going back to this one table. And so I had to make the decision. I went back to that one table. And if you're looking, I'll put it up right now. This was what I was dealing with. First off, the guy had a Venom. He had the Walmart Venom. And yes, without the suspense, I got the Walmart Venom. I needed it. I wanted it. There was no way I was passing on the Walmart Venom. This guy, this is the Venom that I have wanted for years. This is it. The tongue, the body, just big enough, the giant hands, the claws, the other face here, the classic look, the design, the web shooters on the top of the wrist. This is it. This is my Venom through and through. That's exactly what I need. And the chances that I will buy another Venom almost ever is going to be incredibly slim. He's more than likely the Venom of my shelf. Mission accomplished, Venom. And when I seen him, I said, listen, Is that the new Walmart Venom? The one that shot off the shelves or never even hit the shelves? And he goes, yes. And I was like, crap. I need him. Give him to me. That's one I want. He takes it off the shelf. Rather, he doesn't take it off the shelf. He reaches down into a box and takes one out of a box and puts it up on the counter. And I said, look at you. I said, are you buying up all the Venoms? And he goes, no. He says, I have 2, and that's all I have. He said, you just bought the one under the counter. He's like, the next guy that comes in here, that's the floor display. And he said to me, I have yet to come across more than the 2 I bought. And I'm like, oh my God. You know what I mean? So there, got Venom, happy. But the rest of this shelf, man, he has the Scarlet Spider. Oh man. He has the first appearance Spider-Man. You know I want that. He has oh man, there's so many. There were so many on this shelf that now my mind is running in circles. He had like Asajj Ventress, which I actually thought was really cool. He had we already talked about the first Spider-Man. As I looked around the shelf, I saw he had Nightcrawler. That's the only X-Men 97 that I still don't have that I want. And as I searched this shelf, I came across something that he had Revan, Bastila, and Malik all on the same shelf, all right next to each other. Knights of the Old Republic. And that era of Star Wars is my favorite Star Wars that exists, period. I've been saying it for a long time. The series would do itself a favor to get away from the Skywalker legacy. Get away from it. Star Wars, just like Motu, is so much bigger than we allow it to be. Even Mandalorian, which is a solid show, cannot pull itself away from the Skywalker legacy. Stop. You are taking one of the grandest universes ever created and tying it around one figure and squeezing it in as hard as you can. Let it breathe. Let it breathe. You have an unbelievable universe for unlimited storyline potential. Stories that span infinite possibility. And you keep tying it to Skywalker. Not that I haven't enjoyed what I've seen here and there, but that's not okay. And so when video games stepped away from the Skywalker legacy and told their own stories, we got one that showcased one of my favorite Jedis ever, Bastila. And while I don't think this is a perfect rendition of what she's supposed to look like, I also don't think we're ever going to see another one of these. And if we're going off this artwork right here, then she's pretty spot on. I'm willing to accept this as my Bastila because I don't think that we'll ever see another. I really don't. I don't think the possibility, like the chance that they're going to dig into toys for video games in the same frequency that they're doing for live action shows is so small that I don't see it happening. Like the double-sided lightsaber, yellow, the battle uniform, the British accent was kind of cool. Like I really loved Bastila. It's one of my all-time favorite characters ever. To the point where I've had entire playthroughs of KOTOR where I don't use the main character. The second I get Bastila, I just make her the character I'm playing for the entire game because that's what I want. And then I made my final decision. And I figured if I was getting Bastila, Revan had to be the only other logical choice. Darth Revan, here he is, Darth Revan. If I can ever hunt down Malik, that'll be cool. But for as it stands right now, I have 3 figures today on a $100 budget. I did go over my budget. I spent $120. I will recoup that $20 I will not be able to eat pizza this week. That does suck, but I will get over it. And he was worth the trip alone. Even if the convention was not everything I wanted it to be, he was worth the trip alone. But to finally, after all these years, have a representation of my favorite Star Wars content on the shelf, you know what? Successful convention. That's all for today. Just a small video talking about the con and a worthwhile purchase. And I would challenge you that even if you don't have a lot of money, if you could scrape together $100, go to these. If nothing else, just to walk around and soak in some nostalgia, talk to some people, and buy one worthwhile toy or statue and walk out. You will be better for it. And you would be amazed how much you can narrow down exactly what matters to you when you don't have a lot to spend. I actually think that it's a good practice. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I have spoken. Take what you will from it.